Welcome to Facts TV, a reliable source of fact on the rich and famous. Today we'll be featuring one, the great comedian and actors of his time, Bernie Mac. Bernie, whose real name is Bernard Jeffrey McCullough, was born on October 5th, 1957, and was raised in Chicago's South Side. He was the second child to Jeffrey Harrison and Mary McCullough. Bernie was raised in the South Side of the city by his single mother and his grandparents. He started his high school career at Chicago Vocational High School. Mac moved to Tampa, Florida, in 1973 to attend Jesuit High School after the passing of his mother during his sophomore year. Later, his estranged father and Mac's older brother both died. He later came back to Chicago Vocational, graduated in 1975. In his 20s to his early 30s, Bernie worked a range of jobs, including coach, janitor, cook, professional mover, bus driver, Wonder Bread delivery man, and UPS agent. He also did comedy on the weekends at clubs and parties. Bernie's influences toward comedy were from the Three Stooges and listening to stand-up comedians Red Fox and Richard Pryor. Bernie Mac started in Chicago's Cotton Club as a stand-up comedian. He won the Miller Lite Comedy Search at the age of 32, after the win his popularity as a comedian began to grow. His performance on the third episode of HBO's Def Comedy Jam in 1992 thrust him into the spotlight. This came after Martin Lawrence was unable to calm down an increasingly hostile crowd. On that episode, Mac went on stage and said, "I ain't scared o' you," and that he didn't come here for no foolishness. Mac went on to open shows for Red Fox, Dionne Warwick, and Natalie Cole. He also played a small role in House Party 3 as Uncle Vester in 1994. Bernie also had a short-lived talk show titled Midnight Mac on HBO. Shortly after, Mac also acted in minor roles, including Mr. Johnson, the no-nonsense owner of a grill and diner in the movie BAPS, and also Pastor Clever in Ice Cube's 1995 Vehicle Friday. Subsequently, after the role, he got chosen to play the title role for the Apollo revival of The Wiz in 1995. Bernie's first starring role came as Dollar Bill, a silly, slick-talking club owner in the Players Club in 1998. He broke off from traditional black comedy genre and had roles in 2001 remake of Ocean's 11 and became the new Bosley in Charlie's Angels sequel, Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle. Fox Network gave Bernie his own television sitcom called The Bernie Mac Show in 2001, which portrayed fictional version of himself. Bernie suddenly becomes custodian in the show of his sister's 3 children after she enters rehab. In the show, they had many parodies of events of Bernie's actual life. Since he grew up on Chicago's South Side, Bernie was a fan of the Chicago White Sox, and Bernie would sneak a reference to his favorite team in episodes. He even enlisted the then White Sox pitcher John Garland to make a guest cameo appearance. In the 2005 season, Bernie wore a White Sox jacket and cap. This was to congratulate his hometown Chicago White Sox and their staff members who had won the World Series championship. Unfortunately for the show, it was not renewed after the 2005 to 2006 season. The finale aired on April 14, 2006. The show won an Emmy for Outstanding Writing, the Peabody Award for Excellence in Broadcasting, and the Humanitas Prize for Television Writing that promotes human dignity. Mac's character on The Bernie Mac Show was placed at number 47 in TV Guide's list of the 50 greatest TV dads of all time. During his time on the show, Bernie co-starred in Bad Santa and Head of State. He had starring roles in the baseball-themed film Mr. 3000 and Guess Who, which was a remake of the film Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Bernie Mac on March 19, 2007, told David Letterman on the CBS Late Show that he would retire after his 30-year career as soon as he finished shooting the comedy film The Whole Truth, Nothing But the Truth, So Help Me Mac. He also said, "I'm going to still do my producing, my films, but I want to enjoy my life a little bit." Bernie told Letterman, "I missed a lot of things, you know. I was a street performer for 2 years. I went into clubs in 1977 and was on the road 47 weeks out of the year. Mack in this time was a successful popular film actor. In 2007, he appeared in the film Transformers as the car salesman Bobby Bolivia. He starred with fellow comedian Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, and D.L. Hughley in the film The Original Kings of Comedy. His net worth was $10 million. Bernie was married on September 17, 1977 to his high school sweetheart Rhonda Gore, and together had a daughter in 1978. Bernie had a history of medical problems before he went public with his health struggles. The first occurred in October 2004, while he was filming both Guess Who and Ocean's 12 and also promoting Mr. 3000. He was set to finish filming the remainder of Season 4 of The Bernie Mac Show. Mack contracted pneumonia in both lungs and suffered from exhaustion. This led to Fox halting production for 4 weeks so Bernie could recover. During the final 20 years of his life, Bernie undisclosed that he had severe sarcoidosis, an infection of unknown origin that causes inflammation in tissue. Mack was admitted in July 19, 2008 to the Northwestern Memorial Hospital in his hometown of Chicago. After 3 weeks of being treated in the ICU, Mack went into cardiac arrest and subsequently died during the early morning hours on August 9, 2008 at the age of 50. Bernie Mac's public memorial held at the House of Hope Church after a week of his death. It had almost 7,000 people in attendance. Some of the notable mourners at Mac's funeral were Chris Rock, Chicago Mayor Richard M. Daley, Samuel L. Jackson, Ashton Kutcher, Don Cheadle, the cast members from The Bernie Mac Show, and his Kings of Comedy fellow comedians D.L. Hughley, Cedric the Entertainer, and Steve Harvey. After his death, 2 of posthumous films, Soul Man and Madagascar, Escape to Africa, were released 3 months later. Bernie's third and final posthumously filmed Old Dogs was released a year after his death.